Everyone. There's no real easy way to do a video like this without major production. That's not my style right now. So I just wanted to cover some tidbits. And so I wrote down some notes and I will link to some other links that actually show you how to do this on your Rabbit R1. So the first one that keeps coming up is how does Beta Rabbit mode work? Basically, you have to activate it, and you basically have to say Beta Rabbit in your sentence or in your query or whatever. I actually say, hey Roger, can you activate Beta Rabbit mode? And then I start asking my question. Sometimes my R1 will come back and say, what do you mean by activate Beta Rabbit mode? But when I look back in the journal, it's actually activated. And so I guess it depends on how you want to do it. Some people just say, hey, Beta Rabbit. I like to call my R1 Roger, and then I like to talk to it. And like I said, I like to give it the code or the prompt that says, please activate Beta Rabbit mode. All right, when you ask Beta Rabbit, in order to benefit from it, you have to ask it a basic question so it will come back and ask you questions. As long as, what I have noticed is as long as the R1 keeps asking you questions, you're still in the same query, I guess. And then, so anyway, but give it time to answer. I have asked it some hard questions and it's taken a while, and I've gotten impatient, and I've actually gone in and did the press to talk and said, hey, are you still looking? And it has responded. And so it will keep looking for you. So if you get impatient, just say, hey, are you still looking? And if it doesn't respond or it doesn't give you the answer you're looking for, then you might have to requery. And then what I did also right here is I did a screen capture from the Rabbit Hole Journal, and this is the symbol that represents Beta Rabbit mode. All right, so just what I was just kind of talking about timeouts. If you think it's timing out, just press the button and ask R1 to continue. So usually what happens is sometimes you'll ask questions and the responses are pretty long. Your screen will go black and the R1 will stop talking. And so when that happens, just press the button, ask your R1 to continue, or tell R1 where it left off and ask it to continue. So example, if you're asking about the weather in 10 different countries for some reason, and it stops on the 8th country, which is China. And so you can actually say, hey, R1, or hey, I think you stopped speaking, or we got interrupted. Can you please continue at number 8? And it will do that. Spotify Music. So Spotify Music is a bit challenging. I think Apple Music probably is too from some of the forums. I don't use Apple Music. I do use Spotify Music. I did activate the pay version to play with it when I first got my R1. It does work reasonably well. There are some challenges though, and I think it's hit or miss. I think that the company is probably trying to tweak things a little bit, and so it gets a little wonky. But what I've discovered, there are some patterns. Basically, once the music starts playing, if you scroll up or scroll down, you can see track options or what's available. So if you get lost or if you don't like what's going on, just double press the point to talk to get out of it. Remember that double press will take you to the camera view. So once you get the camera view, then double tap it again, and then just tap once and you're good to go. And so I have had luck creating my account for Spotify through just regular account stuff, like through my email or something. I did not connect it to the Google account. I have noticed that it's hit or miss, but I think from what I've observed that most people are having problems connecting their Spotify music account. It seems to be that they are tying it to their Google account. I did not tie mine to my Google account for this. I just created an account. And same with Suno. So Suno is actually a pretty cool product or feature. I've had some luck connecting it by signing in with my phone number instead of my Google account. A lot of people say that their Suno accounts are dropping, and so mine has dropped a couple times. But if I try to reconnect with my phone number instead of my Google account, I have quicker success and it seems to last longer. All right. Hotspot with the Apple iPhone. This seems to be a hard thing for everyone. I think the company is indicating that they are aware that there are some challenges. I didn't have any problems getting on any Wi-Fi. I use my T-Mobile hotspot through my phone, and it works great. I do not use my Wi-Fi at home, but I have in the past, and it seems to work fine. And so what I did was I did take my work phone, which is an iPhone, to go through the process to see what kind of challenges I might have connecting to the hotspot on the iPhone, and I didn't have any problems. But the one thing that I did do, and I always do on my Apple iPhone when I try to do the hotspot stuff, is there's I got a little screen capture here, and there's a little button or a feature down here. It says maximize compatibility. I checked that button before I even tried to get on the hotspot. I don't know if that makes a difference, but that's what I did, and I don't see many people saying that in the forums. So maybe, just maybe, that might be an option. All right, so special note is most users of the owners of the R1, like me, I've noticed some of my tricks and tidbits over the last couple months may not work exactly the way that they did when I originally talked about them. This is probably due to updates and changes, tweaks that the company is making. But overall, the gist for most of the tips and tricks and tidbits that I use on a regular basis seem to work. And the most valuable one, I think, is clearing the memory. And so how you do that is you use the point to talk button and you press it 5 times, and this is kind of like the Microsoft Control-Alt-Delete. So if you do that, you'll see a visual that gives you an idea that it's working, and then that kind of clears what you're talking about, and you can start all over. The other thing that I do a lot to get out of predicaments is I will double tap to get into vision or camera mode, and then I'll double tap and get out, and that seems to save me from some things, especially when you're in the music option, which is Spotify or Apple Music. All right, so here's some of the symbols that are in the journal. And so note that some actions don't show up in the journal, like playing music. So if you ask your R1 to play Spotify or Apple Music, it's not going to show up in your journal. So just know that. All right, so the regular push to talk, when you do that and you just ask a regular question, there's no real symbol other than this little white dot. There's nothing on the side of it, and it's just talking. So beta rabbit mode is the more advanced mode for inquiries, and you can do this in vision mode now. I forgot to do that, but you can do it in vision mode also. And so basically when you do beta rabbit mode, you'll see this little symbol right here, and you can just activate your beta rabbit and then start talking to it. When you jump into Suno, you will actually get a little music symbol, and it will give it a name or title. And so Life is Good for that one. So it will document it, and it will show you the links to the music that it created. So usually 2 songs for each creative process. Vision mode, this is the basic mode for vision, and so that's the double tap. And basically it looks like a little bit of a camera, maybe almost close to an Instagram symbol. And it'll just take a picture. You take a picture, you ask it a question like, what do you see? And this is the symbol you'll get. And then it will usually start out with, I see the image displays, blah, blah, blah. So now you want to do Magic Camera instead. Magic Camera is different than Magic Camera Freestyle. So if you want to do Magic Camera, basically what you do is you still do the double tap to get into camera mode, and basically you just don't say anything when you're taking the picture, or do your best not to say anything, and just press it to take the picture and give it a little while, and then you're good. Sometimes what I will do is when I'm taking multiple pictures, because when you're out in the field and you're taking pictures and you want to be creative, you don't always know if it works. So what I'll do is if I want to do a Magic Camera, I'll take a picture, and then I'll maybe count to 2 or 3, then I'll do a regular vision picture and ask what it sees, and then I'll do another Magic Camera. So it's a little redundant, but it usually helps, especially recently, where I think many people have said a lot of their Magic Camera images are not working, and when you go to the journal it says magic camera well ran dry or something. So take a picture, do the magic camera picture, and then maybe take another picture and repeat. So magic camera freestyle. So this is how I do it. So usually when I do it, the difference in the symbol though is just the word freestyle. So it's the same exact symbol, it just says freestyle. So how I do it is I will do the regular double tap to activate the camera, and then I will say something along the lines of, hey Roger, Roger's the name of my R1, please take a picture and modify it in the style of Legos, something like that. And so a lot of people are very creative. They've come up with some very creative ways to do prompts. And so sometimes you end up with a really awesome picture. Sometimes you end up with the other pictures that maybe not so much. But keep trying. I've had some really good luck with this, and it is a lot of fun. And let's see, taking notes. All right, so taking a note, basically you can just say, please take a note and start speaking. And then the symbol will be a little notepad, and it's kind of an orange-yellow color, mandarin, I guess. Record a meeting. So if you say take a note, that's different than recording a meeting. So record a meeting is audio, and then it'll give you a summary, and it will give you a transcript. And so recording has a little audio symbol. It's more reddish than it is orange or red or yellow. And I have done quite a few recorded meetings. I usually use it just to kind of talk to myself. And then I have recorded up to, I think, almost 2 hours, maybe a little bit over. I've recorded meetings to see how it works, and it works pretty good. Transcripts are a little bit hard on you because it's basically a text file, so it's not very well formatted. Lists. So if you actually say, hey, make a list, it will make a list. And so you call your list a name like, hey, make my grocery list. And then so if you make a grocery list, you can add to it. So if you see this symbol right here, it's also the same as this, but it says list in the name. And then basically what happens is, even though I did this in succession so I could have them all in the same screen capture, but I asked to create a list, and I asked to add something to the list, and then I asked it to provide me the list again. I think is basically what it was. And then I also asked it, after that I asked it to give me the names of all my lists, and it did do that. So I had 3 lists. I had this one, I had a technology list, and I had my flying list. And so lists are pretty good. Sometimes you might have to say recall or remember. The R1 does do a pretty good job recalling or helping you remember things in your journal. You do have to say, hey, can you check the rabbit hole journal for, or you can say something like, hey, do you remember in the rabbit hole journal, blah, 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 or recall. Remember, recall, and rabbit hole journal are usually the keywords in your prompts to help get what you want. I've had pretty good luck with the recall and the remember piece, so I'm not sure that's a problem for anyone. And then but these are the basic symbols. Like I said, there are some symbols. The only one I can think of right off the top of my head that does not have a symbol is playing music. Don't forget you can clear your Rabbit R1. These are the iPhone connectivity. I haven't had the same experience as everyone, but if you are having that problem, I would just recommend at least try and maximize compatibility, and then I would try one more reboot of the R1 and see if you have any better luck. Suno, like I said, I would try using my phone number for my login instead of my Google account. Spotify, if you're having challenges connecting or staying connected, I would consider a separate account instead of connecting to my Google account. If you have timeouts again, give it some time, but go ahead and ask it if the screen has gone black and your Rabbit R1 has gone silent. Just press the button and say, hey, did you forget about me? You might have to remind it what you're talking about, though. And that's basically it. I know this isn't the prettiest presentation, But these are tidbits that help me. I hope it helps you. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you later.